Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. Finally gave up on her. Story. I, 31 meters, am finally done holding out hope that my wife, 26F, will be anything more than a cheater. We've been together since 2014 but married since 2017, which is when the cheating started. She's said that it just started out as trying to make friends since all of her friendships have kind of fizzled out, but none of the people she talked to just stayed friends for long. Most of them were only sexting partners, very little emotion and no meetups, but a few got feelings mixed in and one in particular turned into at least a meetup that ended in at least mutual petting and oral sex. This was all within 1 year, 1.5 years of our wedding date BTW. I, of course, caught her and was rightfully pissed. However, I do take some small blame as I was being a very new and very overwhelmed stay-at-home dad and so wasn't paying her the proper amount of attention and was easily agitated, which affected both our sex life and communication. Things were okay for a bit but she started to talk to more guys online, which I didn't know about for a while and ended up causing another fight when I did find out. During this she admits that she thinks she might be polyamorous. I suggest counseling, both IC and MC, and she agrees. This never happens and of course is accompanied by various excuses as to why not. We continue to try to reconcile and everything goes well for a bit until her depression starts getting the better of her, which is when she starts to seek out extra validation and attention. And the cycle continues until recently. Now I have no hard evidence of any physical intimacy between her and these chat partners other than the first instance. And of course this most recent occurrence. So, Saturday our children and I went over to my parents for the day so I could help my father work on the house. While we were all gone, my WW decided she would be free and clear to get into some mischief. She comes home after work, 14-hour overnight shift, takes a nap, and then gets herself decently dolled up. Nothing crazy, just a shower, nicer clothes, light makeup, and a cute little thong. She then grabs a few of our sex toys and proceeds over to her friend's house. Now she says that all that happened was he used a vibrator and paddle on her, which isn't even all the toys she took, but I don't buy a bit of that. Either way, plans were made previously to go out to eat after the work on the house was finished and I was supposed to call her when we were getting close to being done. So I do, no answer, I wait a bit and call again, no answer, so I text. She replies 15 minutes later saying okay, I'll hear that in a bit, kind of annoying but no big deal. 30 to 45 minutes later, my whole family is sitting around waiting for her and she finally sends me a text saying that she's on her way. When she finally arrives, her excuse is that her and her friends, this was her cover story, a female friend from school and her husband that she's started hanging out with recently, had just started playing a round of Uno when I texted her, and they wanted to finish it. I, sadly, sort of believe this horrible line of bullshit. Until the next day when we meet up with said friend and the friend makes a comment on my WW's new eyeglasses. So now I'm suspicious and start snooping where I can once she leaves for a bit. I found several pregnancy tests, some open, and a used one. I have a vasectomy. I also notice a few of our toys missing and search our bedroom top to bottom in search of them to no avail. When she gets home I look in the car and find the toys in a food delivery bag with an address nowhere near where she said her school friend lives. I immediately confront her and she of course tries to deny it even with damning evidence being waved in her face. I finally tell her that I'm sick of this and I'm done. The kids and I are leaving and she is now free to duck every single guy in the neighborhood if she feels so inclined. Predictably I get the all too common, I'm so sorry, I never meant to hurt you. Or would you be willing to stay if I try therapy? And my personal favorite, I don't why I am this way, I just can't help it. But I finally said enough is enough and I'm packing up my kids and my stuff and leaving. Unfortunately, at least legally, I have to stay married to her for another 6 months. In my state you have to be separated for 6 months before you can divorce, even with evidence of cheating. But on the bright side, she doesn't currently seem to want to fight over anything like the kids or our few joint possessions. TLDRWW cheated twice and I'm finally leaving her sorry butt behind. Update, for those few that think I won't end up leaving, the car is packed and I'm just waiting for the kids to finish their nap. For those worried about marital assets, we are currently renting and her name is the main one on the lease. And the only other real asset we have is the car that I'm going to drive away in, so not much worry there. Update 2, as good as it can be so far. I'm at my parents', she currently has the kids for some mom time. We've talked a bit and been cordial. I've picked up some more of the essentials for me and boys from her house with no big fuss. She seems sad but I guess I made it clear enough that I'm done because she's made no attempts to talk me into coming back and seems pretty resigned to the facts of the situation. Thanks for all the support and advice that everyone has given me. It's very much appreciated and has helped keep my head clear-ish, smiley face. Sounds like you're on the right path but I think she should leave, not you. If the house is a marital asset this could be legally significant later on. Listen to this advice, op. Also, when I got divorced, my attorney told me that if I left the house, I'm proving to the courts that I am capable of providing a place not only for myself, but also the house that we lived in together, increasing the chances of alimony. They are renting a house so there is no problem. Good for you, get the divorce, go for full custody, seek child support and alimony. Hit her where she does not have any money. Eventually the dick will get boring, and she will want a relationship, when she realizes that is all they want from her. When she comes crawling back, tell her to duck off. When the kids are 18 I will only see you at their events if they invite you, because by then they will know who you are, and what you left them for. Edit, I wanted to add, ensure you call her parents after you filed for divorce on the day she is served. Call them and thank them for allowing you into their life. And let them know you have filed for divorce, due to her cheating on you. If you know any of the guys' names, name them to them. Then do the same thing with her siblings, your family and friends. This way you control the narrative, and she can't lie about it. Go live your best life, find someone worth your time, and take care of your kids op. I do take some small blame. No op, you are not the reason she cheated. You did not do anything wrong. She is a horrible person and a serial cheater, she did this because that's who she is. You cannot blame yourself for her actions. Some states, like NJ, have something called irreconcilable differences. The 6 months is still a thing but in this case it can be leading up to the filing of the papers. Meaning go file as that without having to go through 6 months of separation first. You've got way more than 6 months of horse shit prior to today. If your state has that option, of course. If not, well shit. I do remember seeing something about that but I didn't think it would apply. I may have just misunderstood it so I will go back and reread and do a little more research. Thanks a ton. So how are you doing? Hang in there. I'm doing alright, given the circumstances. Still at my parents', probably will be for a while, but the wife has agreed to go to therapy and hopefully work through some of her issues solo and there's talk about eventually working towards couples therapy but we'll see. Either way still separated ATM with no changes in the immediate future. As for my side of things, I've looked into a few of the local therapy places and none seem promising but I have an appointment at one for next week so we'll see how it goes. Is that what you want? I mean, reread your post, this isn't wrong place at wrong time or drank too much cheating. She was working hard for her affairs. And doing it at the expense of you and your kids. Multiple times. Part of the thrill was showing up late for dinner with your parents, knowing what she did. And, I hate to say it but she's in one of those careers that has more cheating than most. The deck is really stacked against this turning out okay. You don't have to decide right away, but make it clear to her that you are not offering her right now. Tell her she has a ton of work to do before you will even consider that. It's good that she is getting into IC, make sure it is with a counselor who specializes in infidelity. Her issue is likely too much for some counselors. And get yourself into IC so you can work through this, and decide what you really want. Listen, she is a serial cheater who appears to have a compulsion that she can't or doesn't want to control. This is a major uphill battle with a very small chance of a successful, long-term. Keep reading here and in the resource library at survivinginfidelity.com, there are lots of great resources over there that can help you. And people who have been through exactly what you are dealing with. Good luck. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.